part of the slip sheet handling system is highly skilled professional drivers. If you're new to slip sheet handling, we hope this video will provide you with all the basic techniques you need to get started, plus help you avoid many of the problems and frustrations of learning by trial and error. If you're an experienced push-pull driver, we hope you will find a few techniques that will make your job easier. If you have additional questions, please refer to your push-pull operator guide shipped with your attachment. Some of the components of the push-pull include the faceplate, the platens, the gripper bar, the slip sheet, and the unitized load. Before we begin talking about the specific handling techniques, it is extremely important for you to know the basic safety rules. Never allow anyone to ride on your platens or use your push-pull for a man-lift platform. Never allow anyone to put their hands inside the mechanism when someone is sitting in the driver's seat or the truck is running. Never allow anyone to walk under your platens. Always back down inclines and drive forward going up. If you're handling double loads, make sure you comply with OSHA regulations for industrial lift trucks with attachments. Make sure your load is within the rated capacity of the truck and attachment combination. The net capacity should be stamped on the truck's nameplate. Always be sure that the loads you handle are firmly stacked or unitized. Never pick up sloppy or poorly distributed loads. To ensure safe operation and prevent product damage, give your push-pull a quick walk-around at the beginning of your shift. Check the platen tips for nicks or other damage. You can flatten small nicks with a hammer and smooth the edges with a file or a grinder. If you don't fix the nicks and gouges, they will tear the slip sheets and make handling very difficult. Check to make sure that all fittings are tight, the hoses are attached securely, and they don't leak. Check all the mounting hooks to make sure they are tight and correctly positioned. If loads seem to be sticking when you pull them onto your platens, you can apply paraffin or a spray-type silicone to reduce the friction between the platens and the slip sheet. Finally, give the push-pull a couple of quick cycles just to make sure that everything is working correctly before putting it to work. Push-pull controls vary from truck to truck. The sequence recommended by the Industrial Truck Association is side shift on the third handle, forward for left, back for right, and push-pull on the fourth handle. Push is forward, pull is back. There are three ways to pick up a load off the floor: the pull technique, the chisel technique, and the pull and drive technique, which we recommend because it's easiest on the slip sheet tab. To begin a floor pickup, align your platens squarely with your load. Tilt the mast forward until the tips touch the floor. Drive the truck forward so the slip sheet tab nests in the gripper opening. Now, begin retracting the faceplate. The gripper jaw will automatically clamp the slip sheet. At the same time, begin driving the truck forward at approximately the same speed as the faceplate. Tilt the mast back and raise the load 3 to 4 inches off the floor. There are situations where it is impossible to use the pull and drive forward method. In these cases, just pull the load onto the platens. To pick up a load from a stack, first align the platens with the load. Raise the platens just above the tab. Tilt the mast 3 to 4 degrees forward and ease forward so the slip sheet tab fits into the gripper jaw. If the tab is bent against the load, you can carefully use your platens to get it back into position. Apply your brakes and then begin retracting the faceplate. As you pull the load onto the platens, they may deflect downward. Raise the carriage slightly to compensate for this. Tilt the mast back and lower the load to 3 to 4 inches above the floor. You are now ready to transport the load. To discharge a load, carefully position it above where it's to be deposited. This should be 10 to 12 inches from the edge of the bottom load or floor spot. Tilt the mast forward 3 to 4 degrees. Lower the carriage until the platen tips are about 1/2 inch above the floor or lower load. Now, slowly push the load about 10 to 12 inches off the platens until it's correctly positioned. Continue pushing and begin backing the truck away at the same speed as the faceplate is moving. Tilt the mast back and lower the platens to 3 to 4 inches above the floor for traveling. We strongly advise against placing the truck in neutral and allowing the push-pull to push the truck backwards. This places unnecessary force against the load and can cause costly product damage. Before you begin loading a truck, make sure the trailer or rail car has been leveled with the dock. When you're going over a dock plate, you may need to raise the platens slightly higher than the recommended 3 to 4 inches to clear it. Once you're in the trailer or rail car, move the load to a point about 4 inches from the sidewall and about 10 to 12 inches behind the final load location. Side shift the load next to the sidewall. Tilt the mast forward until the platen tips are about 1/2 inch off the floor. Push the load to its final position. The front of the load should now be on the floor. To place second-tier loads in a trailer or rail car, use the same procedure. It is important that the top and bottom tabs are lined up. Try to make sure that all slip sheet tabs remain in the up position so they're not damaged by the next load. Loads need to be stabilized, either by shrink wrapping or banding, so as not to shift and be damaged during shipment. When unloading a truck trailer or rail car, make sure the trailer is secured in the loading dock before proceeding. Recommended practice calls for dock plates to be the same width as the trailer door. This provides you with the best access to the load. If the position of the trailer or load doesn't allow you access to the slip sheet tabs, the first load may be taken out without the dock plate. As you approach the trailer, the platens should be squared with the load. Grip the tab and pull the load onto the platens. Side shift the load away from the sidewall and back away. To unload onto a pallet, tilt the mast forward 3 to 4 degrees. Place the load over the pallet until it is about 4 inches from the edge of the pallet. Lower the platen tips until they are about 1/2 inch above the pallet. Push the load forward until it is squarely centered and the front edge is resting securely on the pallet. Continue pushing and begin backing the truck away at the same speed as the load is being pushed. To pick up a load with a torn or damaged tab, first try to grip the sheet beyond the damaged area. If this is unsuccessful, tilt the mast forward and chisel under the load. This method should be approved by your company. If you seem to be having a lot of torn tabs, check the load placement on the sheet. It should be positioned no more than 1/4 inch behind the tab fold line. Slip sheet handling is one of the most cost-effective and efficient methods of materials handling in use today. But the key to making it work is you. Your skill, your pride, you, the professional driver.